Is this thing on? Okay, it's recording. Hey everybody, so I'm going to try to keep this video short, simply because it's just one topic and more of an announcement type of PSA, I think. So I'm going to try to keep it short. A few disclaimers though. First off, general trigger warning. This video will be covering suicidal thoughts and possibly self-harm in quite some depth. So if you're not of the right mental state right now, I'd suggest just liking the video or saving it and watching it later. Second disclaimer, this is not a cry for help, and this is not a goodbye video, I guess. It's neither of those two things. It's just an informational video of sorts in which I'm using my own personal experiences to make a point, since using somebody else's, it's theirs, it's not mine to tell, and making something up, it'll just end up convoluted. So, I'm fine, relatively speaking. This video's not a cry for help or anything of the sort. That said, let's go. Bit of background. There's, something I've been thinking about a lot lately is, the difference between being suicidal and having suicidal thoughts, because they are two different things, and if you don't have depression, it's kind of hard for you to understand what that means. And it's kind of hard for somebody who does have depression to try to explain it to you. The general definition basically is when somebody is suicidal, they're planning to act on it. You know, they have plans to act on this. Having suicidal thoughts, well, you're basically suicidal, but you have no plans to act on what you're feeling. And it's really important, I think, to understand the differences between those two, because a lot of people, myself included, don't feel like they can go and get comfort when they're having suicidal thoughts, because they're afraid the moment the word suicidal comes out, whoever they're talking to is going to just, go into complete panic mode, start, fussing over them, maybe call somebody, things are going to get really out of hand. Because that's happened with me once. I made the mistake of telling somebody that I was suicidal, and they thought that meant that I was planning to do something, when in reality I just couldn't get the thought out of my head. Example, last night, they're invasive thoughts, basically, about death, wanting to die, ways to die. It's a common side effect of people with both depression and borderline personality disorder, both of which I have. Your mind all of a sudden start hyper-focusing on death, and you won't be able to get your mind off of it. That happened to me last night. I walked out to my truck to go home from work, saw the traffic speeding by across the parking lot, and I just kind of froze and started staring at it. And then I couldn't stop thinking about, death and different ways of dying. And it got to the point that I had to go back inside because, I'd end up standing in the parking lot for a good hour just dissociating and staring into traffic. Now, I'm fine. I wasn't planning on doing anything, but I did have kind of an emotional breakdown when I did finally manage to get home, because these are invasive thoughts. They're scary thoughts, especially if you don't have plans to do something. These thoughts are just in your head and they won't go away, and it's hard to explain to people who don't suffer that, but it's really, really exhausting and really, really upsetting. And when you feel you can't reach out, they're all locked up in your head and you don't know what to do with them. Journaling doesn't always work. So I managed to get home and I managed to get somebody to talk to that had a stable mind. And, I got the thoughts out there, and once I got them out there and started finally just distracting myself, it was a lot easier to handle. But what I'm saying is that that's suicidal thoughts. I wasn't suicidal, I was having suicidal thoughts. And it sounds so repetitive, I know, but there's a difference. And I wish people understood that difference a little bit more, because if I knew that I could just, without having much trouble at all, just kind of go up to somebody and say, I'm having suicidal thoughts, and just have them be like, okay, come on, let's talk, let's distract you, it would have been a lot easier to get out of the mindset that I was stuck in, than to know that, well, I don't know if I can talk to somebody about this, because if they hear the word suicidal, they might think that I'm planning on doing something and just go completely, into a protective mode, and that's just going to make things worse for me, because it's just going to hype up my anxiety, hype up my stress, and it's not going to help. So I honestly wish that people discussed these differences a little bit more, which is why I'm talking about them now, because it's really difficult for people with depression and borderline personality disorder to be able to get rid of these thoughts, and it helps to be able to talk to somebody. But when you only have very few specific people that you can talk to because they're the only ones who've explained what this means, then you don't know. You could be away from them, or they could be asleep, and you have pretty much nobody because you're afraid of freaking them out, and it takes too much it takes too much focus to try and explain it to them when you're in the midst of these thoughts and these urges. So that this video, I guess, is just kind of was supposed to be informational. When people say they're having suicidal thoughts, it just means that the urges are there. They're not planning on doing anything. They're safe. It's just the thoughts and the urges are getting so overwhelming they don't know what to do. Being suicidal, they have plans. You should probably take measures to, solve that problem, which is another video for another time. But yeah, I just want to make a quick, short, 6 minutes short, yeah. I just want to make a quick, short video describing the differences between those two, because they're really important, and I think last night would have been a hell of a lot easier if I had known that I could just, go up to anybody that I trusted enough, any of my friends, at work, or just messaged anybody without feeling like, well, I'm going to start scaring them now. Because the last thing I want to do is bother or scare anyone, which means I usually internalize things, and usually they come out explosively in the form of a breakdown like they did last night. And it's the same for a lot of people with depression, and a lot of people with borderline. So I think just kind of spreading awareness to let them know that not being suicidal or using the word suicidal doesn't always mean someone's in immediate danger. I think spreading that knowledge would really, really help benefit a lot of people, both the people who are suffering that and the people who are trying to help the people suffering with it, because it'll mean, there'll be a little bit more of understanding, and people who are just suffering the thoughts without the urges can, get the comfort and the distractions they need without having to worry about scaring somebody or stressing them out. I know a few people, myself included, used to or do have code words. You just text or you message somebody, you set up a code word and okay, when I text you or message you this word, I need your help. I need you to, I need your help to either comfort me, or I need your help to talk me out of something. I have different code words with a few different friends where I have a code word for when I'm just, the thoughts are getting to be too much, and I have a code word for when I'm actually wanting to do something. And that's an easy way to just not have to explain things, and they can get right into helping. But, code words are a little bit difficult, and if they're varying from person to person, it's hard. It's got to be something personal between the person and the friend, and it's hard to remember them all, and it's a whole mess. So just understanding the difference between the thoughts and actually planning things can be really, really big help. So I guess what I'm saying is just maybe try to spread that awareness, and try to remember that, okay, just because my friend used the word suicidal when they described how they were doing to me does not mean they are in any danger. Let me clarify first before I start going into panic mode. That would really help a lot of people. It would really help me, and I think it would help everybody involved. I think they would just take a moment to, okay, gotta clarify, is it just the thoughts, or is this something that's an actual threat, and then step on from there. Obviously that doesn't always happen because people often don't reach out. I know I don't reach out a lot, but when they do, just take a minute to be okay, let me clarify this first. And I guess I'll just end this with 2 notes to people who are struggling these thoughts. Please definitely reach out. Even if it's just to anyone, please just reach out. Reach out to me, reach out to somebody. Even if you're just struggling with the thoughts, even if you don't have plans. If you do have plans, just reach out to somebody first. Try not to worry about scaring them too much. Just make sure that you're safe first. Even if it means worrying someone else, you need to reach out and just talk these things through. And to people who are not struggling these things, but know people who might be, first of all, just try not to go into panic mode too quickly, because it just heightens things. And 2, people don't always reach out. Please keep an eye for the warning signs. You can find lists of them online. keep an eye out for the warning signs, because people don't always have the strength to reach out, and they might be needing you right now, but they don't know how to ask. So keep an eye out for the signs, and reach out. Even if you feel silly and they're just perfectly fine and you were wrong, it's better than not reaching out and something happening and knowing that you could have stopped it if you just, notice the signs and taken the steps forward. That said, take care of all yourselves. I love you all very much. Stay safe, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.